This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on the South Today, a precious native bird has been given a second shot at life thanks to Dunedin wildlife experts. An in-store surveillance camera spies a young man stealing a charity collection jar, hopefully leading to his capture. And performers are arriving in Dunedin with technicians working hard to prepare venues for the city's arts festival. Kia ora, good evening, I'm Melissa Barton. A precious native bird has been given a second shot at life thanks to Dunedin wildlife experts. The young kake, or black stilt, is one of 132 adults remaining in the wild and went under the knife at the Wildlife Hospital this morning.
The delicate act of putting this young kake under anaesthetic. He's one of just 132 adult black stilts remaining in the wild, but has sustained severe foot injuries requiring treatment with antibiotics and painkillers, followed by surgery.
When you're dealing with species that rare and endangered, every bird counts because you're dealing with numbers in the hundreds, not in the thousands, so yeah.
An infection has destroyed the bones in his toes. One option is to amputate, but that could cause all sorts of problems with balance back in the wild. Option 2, slightly more complicated.
You'll remove the infected tissue and all the little pieces of bone that might be in there, and then leave a bit of sort of tendon and soft tissue that kind of scars, and you leave a decent sized stump. And hopefully that provides a weight-bearing surface that he can walk on.
But the stakes are high and every bird counts when they're critically endangered.
Things change with them a lot more quickly than they do mammals, so you've got to keep a really close eye on them and make sure they're not getting too deep under anaesthetic or not too light, and so it's a constant juggling act of keeping them at a good depth of plane of anaesthesia.
But despite the severity of the injury, they're hoping the bird will be able to return to its native habitat of braided riverbeds and swamps in the Mackenzie Basin. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Police, Landsar and boaties are continuing to search for a missing man along the Clutha River near Balclutha. Ian Marshall is in his 60s and has been missing since yesterday when he was last seen. A Landsar search team and several boats were spotted out searching along the Clutha River bank 7 kilometres from Balclutha this morning. Police say they received a reported sighting of Marshall at the riverbank near Crown Street yesterday. He's believed to be wearing dark green overalls and gumboots. Anyone with information is encouraged to get in touch with police. A young man has been spied stealing a charity collection jar thanks to an in-store surveillance camera. Crystal clear footage of the theft of a jar of cash from the Wakawaiti Fish Inn at the beginning of the month has been released by the owner in the hope of identifying the culprit. The video shows the man pacing around while waiting for his order of fish and chips. He's wearing a black singlet and sporting distinctive tattoos. While trying to use a plastic straw to clean his teeth, he casually moves the honesty jar down to the floor and out of the sight of staff. Despite spotting the surveillance camera, he takes his order and leaves the shop. But after staff have turned their backs, he darts back in to grab the jar of money before leaving a second time. The jar contained about $120 in cash, and police say the offender is yet to be identified. A Nissan Terrano has driven through a playground, down some steps and across a field while being pursued by police through Queenstown and Frankton this morning. The driver took off after a patrol car activated its lights and siren on Shotover Street around 4:15 a.m. The vehicle reached speeds of 110 kilometres an hour in a 70 kilometre zone as it fled. The pursuit was abandoned after the vehicle went down some steps and through a children's playground. But it resumed on Frankton Road a short time later after the driver refused to stop for another patrol car. The pursuit was abandoned for the second time after the vehicle drove up a bank and across country near Pack and Save. Police say they're following positive lines of inquiry. Dunedin's 2-yearly arts festival is ready and rearing to take to the stage today after problems with everything from finding venues to finding missing paint have been resolved. Performers are arriving in the city with technicians working hard to prepare venues. And for festival director Nicholas McBride, managing his stress levels is simply part of the job.
Making sure everything's in order ahead of tonight's official opening of Arts Festival Dunedin 2018.
We've got a great team of staff and also wonderful technical staff as well who are working really hard. The magic has all come together.
That magic includes over 130 performances of theatre, music, dance and visual arts shows in 10 days. There's been a few hiccups along the way, including the closure of the Fortune Theatre, which meant a lengthy and complex task of finding new venues.
I am stressed, of course. It's, I'm not sleeping very well at night, but that's I'm used to that. I recognise that. I try not to stress about the stress, but just accept it, because that's part of the job, absolutely part of the job.
He says ticket sales have been good but could be better, and the notoriously slow Dunedin public are staying true to form.
And that's absolutely fine, but it is quite nerve-wracking for me. I've got a lot riding on it.
Tickets are available online as well as at the Regent Theatre and from doors prior to every show in Dunedin, the South today.
Still to come on the South today. Following on with the launch of the Dunedin Arts Festival, we look at a one-woman play that addresses some dark subject matter. And we catch a lunchtime performance from the Logan Park High School and Orchestra and Schools Choir.
Helping New Zealanders to do more. Talk to MTF today.
Step into Shop on Carroll and discover a shop full of treasures. We have a fantastic range of vintage and retro clothes, upmarket clothing labels, collectible items, beautiful jewellery, quality linen and the best range of vintage haberdashery.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
The Green Island Medical Centre offers everything for your family's needs. Whether you are travelling or coming in to discuss health symptoms, our medical staff provide the best of care. We offer Manage My Health, making booking an appointment or requesting a repeat prescription a breeze. We welcome families like yours. Give us a call today. Phone 03 488 2754.
When it's time to say goodbye to your pet, Heaven Sent Pet Cremations are here to help you through this difficult experience. Call Heaven Sent Pet Cremations today for their care and guidance. Phone 489 2274.
Electrify NZ Dunedin sell quality European designed e-bikes with reliable componentry so that you too can wear the e-bike grin. Call in for your complimentary test ride today or book online. Find us at 249 Cumberland Street, phone 021 035 9820.
Spring is here and it's time to get in the garden. Ready Lawn will take care of your lawn needs, making lawn care a snap. They will install the perfect lawn while you plant your favourite flowers and vegetables. Call Ready Lawn today so you can enjoy the coming season.
Welcome back. Federated farmers say fuel thefts from a North Otago farm last week highlight the need for farmers to be security conscious. Rural Security spokesman Miles Anderson says it's a constant battle to protect farming properties. 2 petrol tanks were emptied on an Enfield farm west of Oamaru last week. Anderson says farmers need to lock their fuel tanks, have them well lit and keep accurate records of fuel usage. He also says all thefts must be reported to the police. As we've already seen, Arts Festival Dunedin opens tonight with performances in various venues around the town. One of the acts is a one-woman play called Jane Doe, written by New Zealand playwright Eleanor Bishop. The play addresses the topics of rape, feminism and empowerment. But despite the dark subject matter, actress Karen McCracken says the hard-hitting drama is at times funny and ends with the audience being given the chance to share tea and biscuits with her.
I'm performing in the show Jane Doe. It's a one-woman show exploring rape culture in our communities. Some people do get sort of scared off by the description of the show, but what I would say is, yeah, at times it can be intense, but it's also really funny. I guarantee you that you'll laugh if you come along. It's really warm. At the end we have tea together and there's some biscuits and I hang around and talk to everyone, so it's a really good time and I wouldn't be put off by the description talking about rape culture. Eleanor actually created the show in the States well before the Me Too movement had started, but obviously since it started last year there's been a kind of renewed interest in some of the ground that the show is covering. It's really relevant, I think. Abuses of power run rampant in industries like Hollywood, which you've seen, but also kind of just across the board and in our own communities. And it's not just monsters committing harm, it's people who are in our lives and in our circles that we care about. It's my first time in Dunedin. I've never performed in Dunedin before, and this is the show's first time here, so it's really exciting. It can be really difficult being a performer who deals with this content every night. That said, there's also really beautiful moments in it, and the amount that I get to connect with the audience every night is incredible. We talk about really positive things in the show, which is also incredible. And we have lots of structures, Eleanor and Khalid and I, that we put around ourselves so that we feel safe and feel positive and that this practice is sustainable.
A group of 45 young musicians have been honing their craft around Dunedin City in an effort to improve their performance. The Logan Park High School Orchestra, along with the school's choir, took their talents to the Dunedin Public Art Gallery today for a lunchtime concert.
Fine-tuning their skills, from the classics to classic Beatles tunes. Logan Park High School's orchestra entertaining an appreciative lunchtime crowd at the Dunedin Public Art Gallery. Head of Music John Dodd says events like this are important for the developing musicians.
Their experience flows back into the curriculum because in music these days they're doing performance assessments, performance assessments, so they learn skills to help them with their performance.
Year 11 pupil Rebecca Delphin is the second violin in the group and says she enjoys performing and hopes their music can put a smile on people's faces.
I think it's nice to have other people enjoy this music you make. I think it's really satisfying to have that kind of knowledge that you know that you're having other people enjoy what you're doing, and that hopefully you're making their day better.
Dodd's been guiding young musicians at Logan Park for many years, but says watching the students' journey from entering high school to leaving is inspiring.
It's exciting for me. I mean, it's my passion. So to watch young people that I've worked with and see them develop from a Year 9 student where they come into the school and then by year 13 see them enter into the community, off to university or getting a job or whatever they're going to be doing after school.
Students say frequent playing is a great way to improve their skill.
Even if you're not great, it's a wonderful opportunity to perform, and you get so much better really quickly if you do. And you know, the worst thing, you can't get worse.
Dodds shared his passion for music with students over many years, and without wanting to seem like he has favourites, clearly remembers a couple of very promising young women.
I can't take a lot of credit, but the most famous student I've had currently would be a tie with Aldous Harding and Nadia Reid.
Although today's performance wasn't part of the school's curriculum, Dodds says some of the skills they pick up from playing at events like this will be assessed later. In Dunedin, the South Today.
After the break on the South Today, Balclutha's Mount Kui landfill receives a new natural liner which aims to prevent toxic leaching. And we catch up with some of the Dunedin people directly affected by the 1918 flu pandemic.
Step into Op Shop on St Andrew and discover a place with plenty of bargains for yourself, your friends and the whole family. We have new items arriving every day. Visit us for a fabulous range of economy and upmarket clothing, accessories, books, shoes and more. Shop with us and support your community.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Every Kiwi deserves a reliable garage door. Rely on Garador to protect your important stuff. Just like Darren, his Garador keeps his favourite ride in mint condition. We have a huge range at affordable prices. Visit our website for a free consultation. We stand behind every door.
For more than 50 years, Roslyn Mowers and Heating have been selling and servicing quality lawn mowers and outdoor power equipment. Bring your mower, chainsaw, garden equipment in for repair or service and you go in the draw to win a Husqvarna petrol line trimmer. See you in store soon.
Active Interior Design in Mornington are the curtain and blind experts. The team can even advise you on outdoor products and will ensure that everything is perfect. For interior design with flair, call Active to book your free in-home consultation or call into the showroom in Mornington.
The Green Island Medical Centre offers everything for your family's needs. Whether you are travelling or coming in to discuss health symptoms, our medical staff provide the best of care. We offer Manage My Health, making booking an appointment or requesting a repeat prescription a breeze. We welcome families like yours. Give us a call today, phone 03 488 2754.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole Map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Motor Trade Finance proudly brings you Rural Delivery. A look at the places and faces behind New Zealand agriculture. Tuesday evenings 8:30, repeating Saturday morning at 8 and Sunday afternoons 4:30.
Thanks for staying with us. Former Highlanders coach Jamie Joseph is set to stand down as head coach of the Sunwolves in the build-up to next year's Rugby World Cup. The Japan national coach has fronted a press conference marking 1 year to go until the Brave Blossoms play Russia in their opening World Cup match in Tokyo. He says he won't be coaching the Sunwolves next year, and a number of the players won't start playing Super Rugby until a bit later in the season either. Joseph took over the Sunwolves this season, coaching them to their most successful yet, with 3 victories, but they still finished bottom of the table. Balclutha's Mount Kui landfill is receiving a new natural liner which aims to prevent toxic leaching. Wasteco is behind the project, which aims to make the site more environmentally friendly. Irrigation ditches were dug at the base of the landfill face, ahead of the final step of laying down the geosynthetic fibre. Project foreman Dave Hannon says this natural layer will stop the landfill from polluting the Clutha River. He says the material is a reinforced composite, combining 2 durable outer layers with a core of sodium bentonite clay, which expands to create a hydraulic barrier. Hannon says the last touch will be planting toitois and flaxes on a layer of soil. It's one of the final stages in an effort to prevent waste from the landfill from spreading into the Clutha River. This year marks a century since the flu pandemic killed an estimated 50 to 100 million people globally. Dunedin alone saw over 270 people die in just a few weeks. Among those were husband and wife Annie and Tom Holt, who left behind 5 young daughters.
Reflecting on events 100 years ago, Maureen Smith looks at photographs of her maternal grandparents who died within hours of each other during the great influenza epidemic. Annie and Tom Holt had 5 young daughters when the flu killed them on 28 November 1918.
They must have been with the grandmother when Annie went into hospital. When Annie and Tom went into hospital, they must have been staying with the grandmother, and there were 2 of their aunts there who helped look after them.
The 5 orphaned sisters were each adopted by one of their 5 aunts, keeping them in the family.
So he had 5 sisters, and so each of the girls went with a sister of Tom's, which I think was really lovely, because they were kept within the family, but they grew up sort of away from each other.
The girls narrowly dodged the very real possibility of being sent to an orphanage, which had been the suggestion of one of their grandparents.
He was a rather stern man, and he said the girls could go into an orphanage, so that he would have, you know, I guess that's what he was talking about. But because Annie had died first and Tom had died second, it was Tom's family who had the say, and so they took each of the girls.
Smith says that while the sisters were raised by different families, they regularly met up over the years. In Dunedin, for the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. An endangered native bird has been given a second shot at life thanks to experts at the Dunedin Wildlife Hospital this morning. A young man has been spied stealing a charity collection jar thanks to an in-store surveillance camera at the Wakawaiti Fish Inn. And performers are arriving in Dunedin with technicians working hard to prepare venues for the city's 2-yearly arts festival, which is set to begin. And now look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Welcome, Paul Gorman. What have you got for us in tomorrow's paper?
Friday night. You'll know what that means.
I know,
Saturday.
fun time.
Unless you're working tonight and Sunday, but never mind, we won't worry about that. Of course, tomorrow's ADT, we've got The Mix, got some interesting stories. Now, often you wouldn't think that a feature about tax would be very interesting, but it's been written really cleverly, this piece, and it kind of links it all to Monopoly, like a game of Monopoly that they played it through in the ADT newsroom earlier in the week, and you know the different forms of tax and landing on the super tax and that. So actually, it's really worth a read.
So you get
there.
the pot back if you land on the tax
That'd
refund.
be nice. I'm not sure if that happens. Travel pages. We're going down the Rhine with Mike Yardley, and we've also got a piece on the 6 mosts. The most, get this right, edible, the most beautiful, the most confusing city. So it's quite an interesting list of people's travel experiences. And on the Time Out pages, we've got slow cooked roast pork shoulder with limes and garlic, which sounds very nice. So,
Sounds
it's
fantastic.
a real mixture there. Got some strong news in the paper turn. Of course, the Arts Festival started. We've got a whole page on the Arts Festival tomorrow. So, yeah, lots and lots as normal on a Saturday ODT.
Wonderful, something for everyone in tomorrow's paper. Thank you, Paul. And now it's time for a look at what's happening with tomorrow's weather.
Tonight's weather proudly brought to you by MolMap.
Beginning with tonight's southern view taken of a slightly shy dog cruising Stewart Street in Dunedin. Looking at the situation, mostly fine weather this weekend as a westerly airflow builds, but there's a very cold southerly airstream due on Sunday night which could bring low-level snow to much of the region, so look out for possible travel disruption and hazarded weather for newborn stock. Starting at the northwest of the South Island, Greymouth and Westport you're in for sunny weather and a high of 17. Across to the northeast, Nelson sunny and a high of 18 degrees. Blenheim you're also sunny but cooler with a high of 15 degrees. And moving to Canterbury, Kaikoura fine and sunny with a high of 14. Christchurch also sunny and 14. Ashburton can also expect fine weather and a warmer high of 17 degrees. Looking at the southern towns, Balclutha, Catlins, Gore and Lumsden can all expect moderate westerly, some cloud with 13 to 14 degree highs. Moving west to the Central Lakes, Alexandra, Queenstown and Wanaka can expect light wind, cloud increasing and highs between 13 and 14 degrees, but expect showers in Te Anau with fresh westerlies and a high of 13. Up to the north, Amarama and Twizel, moderate northeasterlies and a high of 14 degrees for you both. Similar along the coast for Oamaru and Timaru with highs of 13 to 14 degrees. In Dunedin, fine tonight with southwesterlies developing in an overnight low of 3. Low cloud later tomorrow with moderate northerlies. 13 will be the high and 8 the low. Cloud increasing on Sunday with light cool southerlies developing, a high of 14 and a low of 5. And in Invercargill, fine tonight with 7 the overnight low. Fine tomorrow with sunny periods and some cloud and moderate cool westerly winds with a high of 14 and a low of 9. Cloud increasing on Sunday with southwesterlies freshening and snow flurries lowering by nightfall. Looking at a high of 11 degrees and a low of 4. That's all for our news this Friday. For the latest news from the southern region, head online and follow us on Facebook, YouTube and at channel39.co.nz, as well as odt.co.nz. Thanks for joining us. Take care. Ka kite anō.
This bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.